Hey everybody, it's Miss Simmons. I'm sorry I couldn't be there today, but it's gonna be all right. You guys will do fine without me. So you guys need to get out some paper to take notes. If you have graph paper, today is a great day to use it. Okay, if you don't stress yourself out. Okay, don't stress. Just use your regular paper. Okay. So today's lesson is about multi-digit division. So what that means is that we're going into long division. Ooh, I know it's scary, okay? But you guys are going to do great. You've probably watched or seen someone solve a problem by using partial quotients, and this may have been what you guys did in the past in elementary school. And I've got a little example of what partial quotients look like down here. So in the past, what you've probably done is kind of guessed at how much each thing was. So in this question specifically, you've got 584 divided by 9. And when you've done 584 divided by 9, you kind of guess as to what the closest thing times 9 would get you close to 500. I chose 50 because 9 times 50 would give me 450, and then I subtracted that to find out what was left. And notice I'm kind of lining my stuff up over here. I had a remainder of 134, so I needed to keep going. The next thing I chose was 10 because 9 times 10 would give me 90, which is pretty close to 134. Then I subtracted that, and I knew that I still had 44 leftovers, so I did 9 times 4, which is 36. That's the closest I could get to 44. And then I had 8 left over. And as you know, 9 does not fit into 8, so you would then write remainder 8. So my final answer when I added everything up, 50 plus 10 is 60, 60 plus 4 is 64, and then I had a remainder of 8. So when you wrote your answer in the past, you wrote 64 remainder 8. So we're trying to move away from this method now, okay, guys? But if you're pretty comfortable with this, that's okay. But what has to happen is that instead of writing this remainder 8 nonsense, we have to make this into a decimal number, okay? And I know you're probably groaning, but stop it. Decimals are a good thing, okay? Decimals are in your money. You like money, right? Okay, so moving forward here, I'm going to teach you what's called the standard algorithm. And I know the word algorithm sounds really complicated, but it's just a fancy word for the process that you use or how you solve something. So it's pretty similar to the partial quotients or the partial products algorithm, but it's just a little bit different, okay? So in the past, I'm going to zoom in on my screen a little bit here so you guys can see a little bit better, okay? In the past, what you guys have done is taken this divisor that sits out here on the outside, and you've tried to find a number big enough that you could multiply this by that number to get close to your dividend, which is inside. Okay, lots of math words coming at you right now. So instead of trying to make it close to this whole gigantic number right here, we're actually going to take it one digit at a time, okay? So right now, these are the first 3 problems on your paper, okay? So you should have picked up the paper on your way in before you started the video. But if you haven't, please pause now and go get the paper, okay? So you can either write this on your note sheet or you can write it on your paper itself. Remember, Miss Simmons does not care if you use scratch paper. She loves it. Just make sure that you attach it to your work, okay? So in the past, like I said, you guys have been dealing with the full dividend. You've been trying to get as close to the full dividend as you can. So we're actually going to take it one digit at a time here. That text is way too big. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is look at this 4. Okay, this is in the hundreds place. You guys know that. So we are looking at 400, but I just want to use this digit of 4 with this divisor. Okay. Think in terms of groups here. So I have a group of 31 that I want to fit into 4. Now, does that make sense? Can I fit 31 into 4? No. So what that tells me is that I have a 0 in this place. And as you can see, I'm lining my digits up as I'm using them. This is why graph paper is really awesome in this case. It really helps you line up those digits, okay? But moving on, so 4 could not fit a group of 31 into 4, But can I fit a group of 31 into 40? Now I'm using the first two digits instead of just the first digit. And the answer to that is yes. Well, how many groups of 31 can I fit inside of 40? Well, I can only fit one full group. So then what I have to do, oh my goodness, I've got too many things going on here. Then what I have to do is take that group of 31 that I placed inside that group of 40 and figure out how much is left over from that. So 31, I got to take that away. So now my stuff's not lining up nicely. There we go. Awesome. Okay, so now I have to take this group of 31 out of my 40. So 40 minus 31 is going to leave me with a 9 here. That's going to leave me with a 9. So I'm still working with this problem. I am not done because, as you can see, there's still a 0 hanging out here. So what I actually need to do is take that 0 and drop it down. Okay, drop that 0 down beside your 9. And notice I'm changing colors because 0 was originally in my dividend. Okay. This 9 was what was left over when I took out the group of 31 from those first two digits. And then I had to bring down my 0. Okay, so the next thing I want to do is say, okay, well, I know that now I have 90. And I need to fit this group of 31 inside of 90 somehow. So you've got to ask yourself, okay, well, 31 times what will get me close to 90? What I found is that it's probably 2, because if I multiplied 31 by 3, that would be 93, and that's too much. So I'm going to have to place a 2 right here. And I don't know why this digit is so fat in comparison to this one. Oh, it's because the font is bigger. Way to go, Miss Simmons. Okay, making it smaller because that's too big. Okay, so now I've got a 12. But I'm not done because remember 31 times 2, I've got to take away how much I used from this group down here. And 31 times 2 gives me 62. Okay, so I took that away, and that was red because that's what I just multiplied. And that's subtraction. Oh, wrong one. That was a subtraction problem here, so I need to put that subtraction sign. And after I take, why is that still an arrow? Okay, one more try. After I take 62 out of that group of 90, what I should have left over is 28. Okay, now that's a large remainder. You've got to be careful with those large remainders. But I can't just write remainder 28. Okay, I actually have to make this a decimal number. And Miss Simmons' rules for decimals are actually not too bad. You need to go at least 3 places behind the decimal. That's 3 places, okay? 1, 2, 3. So knowing that I have a remainder of 28, what this should tell me to do automatically is place a decimal in my quotient up here. Okay, so I need a decimal right here because that's where it stopped. That's where I ran out of numbers in the dividend. Okay, there's a decimal here. There's a decimal here. But I can't just stop. I have to keep going. So that means I need to add in a 0, and that 0 has to come down here and keep my problem flowing. So I've got to add in a 0 behind this 28, which is going to turn it into a 280. And that being said, what I'm going to have to do is keep going with this group of 31 and try to fit it into 28. Now this is where it gets a little hairy, you could say. 31 times what is going to get me close to 280? So 31 times 10, that's going to be 310. That's way too much. So maybe I want to step it down to 31 times 9 and see what that is. So I'm going to work that out over here, and it's going to be messy because Miss Simmons is trying to write this on a strange little pad. Okay, so 31 times 9. Oh, it's so pretty. All right, 9 times 1 is 9. 9 times 3 would give me 27. Ooh, that's so pretty. That looks like a Z. Ooh. Okay, well, if you can't read that, I don't really blame you, but it says 279. And that's pretty much as close to 280 as you can get without it actually being 280. So I'm going to subtract 279 from 280. And notice that I still have that stinking remainder of 1. And Miss Simmons still can't seem to get this line thing right. Okay, there we go. I'm still going to have that remainder of 1. Okay, so don't forget to put your 9 in the quotient up here, because I use that 9 to make this product down here of 279. So right now I have a remainder of 1. So guess what? I've got to drop another 0. I know you're super thrilled. Alright, so here's this 0. Got to drop her on down again. Oh no, what was that? That was just crazy. Now I've got to fix it. Okay, there we go. Okay, drop a 0. That's going to come down here to hang out beside my 1. 0. Okay, so now I've got a 10. Well, we both know that 31 will not fit into 10. So what I'm going to do is put a 0 there, because 0 groups of 31 will fit into 10. 0 of them, so minus 0. And notice my problem's getting kind of long at this point, but that's okay. It happens. Okay, I'm not fixing that one. You guys know that I mean it's just a line. Okay, that still leaves me with a 10, so guess what? I've got to drop one more 0. Okay, so one more 0. Uh-oh, things are getting crazy. One more 0. The lines are moving everywhere. This is difficult. Okay, here we go. This 0 is what comes down here. That's what this is right there. Okay. Okay, last digit that we have to add up here, guys. So I want to get as close to 100 as I can. And what I know is that this is probably going to be a 3, because 31 times 3 is 93. Okay. Now I'm still going to have a remainder left, but guess what? That's okay. We're kind of going to just pause it there, because there's no reason to go out past 3 digits. They get so insignificant at that point that they are not important. Okay, so we're going to stop there. So right now I'm going to say that my answer is 12 and 903 thousandths. Okay, now I know that was a lot of work. I'm going to do the other two with you. I'm going to try to walk you through it. If you need to pause at any point, please do that. I know this is a lot of problems, but you guys will survive, I promise. Alright, so for number 2, you've got 11 as your divisor and 938 as your dividend. Alright, so first thing I need to do is say, okay, can I fit a group of 11 into 9? The answer to that question is a big fat no. Okay, so what that means is that I'm going to have to keep going into this second digits place. So can I fit a group of 11 into 93? Well, yeah, I can. I know 9 times 11 is 99, but that's too much. So I'm going to have to use an 8 in this case. So 8 times 11 is 88, which means I need to subtract 88 from this lovely 93. Okay. And 93 take away 88 is going to leave me with a 5. So right now I've got a 5. And then I need to bring down my lovely 8 at the end of the problem, because that's my next digit that I have to deal with. So instead of just a 5, I actually have 58. Okay. Alright, so next things next. How many groups of 11 will fit inside 58 without going over? Well, I know that 11 times 5 is 55, and that's really close to 58, and I think that may be as close as I can get. So I need to subtract 55 from 58, and that's going to leave me with a remainder of 3. Okay, so we're getting somewhere. Remainder of 3. Okay, remember we can't just leave it with remainder 3. we actually have to go in and make a decimal. So here's where my decimal is. And that means I have to start dropping zeros. Okay, and remember, you never place a 0 in the quotient. The quotient always, or the 0 always goes in the dividend. So when I've got this 0, take this arrow, drop it on down here. That's going to leave me with a 30 to deal with. There we go. And 11, so how many groups of 11 can fit into 30? Well, 11 times 3 is going to be 33. That's too much, so I'm going to have to go with a 2 here. Okay, so that's going to give me 22. So take away 22 from this 30. That's going to leave me with a lovely remainder of 8 again. Okay, so drop this 8 down here. And still not done, because I've still got stuff going on. So I need to drop another 0. Okay, the 0 is going to come down here, hang out with the 8, turning it into an 80. Cool. Okay, the closest I can get to that is 11 times 7, which is 77. Maybe I should zoom out some. Maybe this is a little too close. Whew, hello. All right. So I got to take away 77 from this 80 minus 77. Boop. And you guys are probably working faster than me because you've got pencil and paper, you lucky ducks. Okay, this is going to be a 3 here. And I'm going to drop my last 0 because remember, we only want to go 3 spaces out. And I need this nice arrow to show that I am dropping the 0. Okay, oh, look, I've got another 30. I've already dealt with a 30 once. So what this should tell you is that your problem is going to keep repeating itself. So back here, what you're going to have is another 2. Yep, I typed a 2. But you're going to want to stop there, okay? Don't go any further. All right, pause the video now and try to solve number 3 using this method. If you're still not comfortable with it, again, you can use the partial products or partial quotients if you're more comfortable with it. But pause your video now and then come back and replay it when you're done solving number 3. Hey guys, so check your answer, see if you got what I got. I got 29.181, and you can see my work here on the page. Remember, you only need to go 3 digits out. 3 digits out. Okay, so that's pretty much the end of our lesson here, guys. If you need help with this, I understand. Remember, this is difficult. It's going to be okay. You're going to get the hang of it. It takes a little while. Don't get frustrated with yourself. Don't get angry if you don't get it right away, but try your best, okay? Miss Fenimore has an answer sheet, so after you do about 4 problems, let her check those 4 problems. Go up to her and ask, can you please check these, okay? And then I will be back tomorrow to answer any questions that you have. We're going to be working on this tomorrow too, so don't fret. I promise it's going to be okay. Make sure that you are working on your study guide for your test that's on Thursday. Okay, work on that study guide. You also have an assignment on It's Learning that's due tomorrow. So you need to make sure that you have logged on to It's Learning and taken that assignment. It's called Unit 2A Formative 2. It has to be done. It is not optional. Okay, you guys need to do this. All right, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a great day, and good luck.